lots of thoughts trying to come out at the same time. But,
Okay, why politicians have lost the trust of Brits forever. Watch till the end of the video and we shall dive into this subject even more deeply.
You've dropped a bit of a boulder into the pond on this one, haven't you? I mean, you've got Labour losing 12% of their lead from 2024, less than a year away, 39% down to 27%. Reform getting all of it, up from 18% to 30%. Reform leading the polls for the local elections.
Yeah, so this poll was focused exclusively in the Midlands and the North, the areas that Labour once called their red wall, their stronghold, the sort of bulwark against towards for their parliamentary majorities. These Northern Midlands, former industrial areas, as Labour as they came until Brexit, and then until Boris Johnson came along in 2019 and swept through them. And then obviously Labour clawed them back. And I think we were even discussing yesterday, it wasn't necessarily that Labour did particularly well in these seats. It's just the Tory vote completely collapsed. Now, Nigel Farage obviously ate into the Tories in 2024. And now it looks like he's eating into Labour, and more than so, he's eating their breakfast. He's ahead. And not just in terms of the local elections. This is if there was an election tomorrow, 30% said they would vote reform. And I think what will really send chills down the sort of Labour strategist spines is that Nigel Farage head-to-head against Keir Starmer is beating him in almost, bar one, every single of the sort of key metrics that we normally use to decide who are the best prime ministers, who's trusted, who's more in touch with people like me, who's in touch with the common man, who's a strong leader, who do you trust to have radical solutions to fix the nation's problems. Farage is outpolling Starmer in all of those. The only thing Starmer leads by is who do you trust to deliver the NHS. And Starmer's only got a 5-point lead on that. And given how much that Labour have been pummeling the reform and pummeling Farage about the NHS, you can see they're clearly trying to solidify that. But on everything else, especially on immigration, it's all going Farage's way right now.
And perhaps the biggest problem for Starmer as well is that everyone presumably now knows who he is because he's the Prime Minister. But Nigel Farage is possibly the best known politician in the country, not least because of being on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and just because he's got a very high profile on social media.
Yeah, what I think was really striking about this poll is that the Tories are just nowhere really. I think they in the seats that will have local elections, they could actually hold up, because I think there's some of the seats that remain that because they cancelled a few of them, they delayed a few more.
Here's how I broadly see things right now. The political debate feels pretty shallow. On one side, you've got just tax the rich crowd, arguing that wealth taxes alone could eliminate poverty and inequality. On the other hand, there's this nostalgic throwback to proper bin men and tradwives. The idea that returning to the past is somehow the answer. Frankly, neither of these approaches are serious or fit for today's challenges. The core economic issue in this country is productivity. Wages have stagnated for years, and that's directly linked to low productivity growth. The only real way out of this is through investments, both public and private. We need to be far more ambitious and long-term in how we approach that. Some of this is already happening through government projects, but we need to go much further. Without tackling productivity head-on, wages will not rise, and the link between hard work and reward, the foundation of a fair economy, will keep breaking down. We also need to think more radically about how we integrate technology. It's not just about buying the latest AI software, it's about rethinking entire systems to work with that technology. That's how we create a leaner, more effective state that can do less, but do it better. Now, this won't happen overnight. Many of the decisions we need to make now around infrastructure investment and long-term reform won't bear fruits for years. But we have to be honest with people. Some of these benefits will take time, and the trust is fragile. People aren't apathetic, they're angry. And they have every right to be, whether it's local projects being shelved in favour of wealthier areas or public spaces falling apart, people feeling let down. They just don't believe politicians can or will change things. Rebuilding that trust is not just about policy, it's about presence, it's about being on the ground, it's about listening, it's about responding, and they deserve politicians who are honest about the scale of the challenges we face. Lastly, power matters. Politicians have slowly handed too much power to unelected bodies, and it's left people wondering what their representatives are even for. They're too busy earning more off their second jobs than they are off the jobs that we elected them for, like Geoffrey Cox. If we're ever serious about change, we need to use that power that Parliament gave us. confidently, clearly and imaginatively, so that the public can actually see the difference that they're making. Because the alternative is not just about political apathy, it's the rise of nationalism and reactionary politics, Nigel Farage and the likes, and we all have a responsibility to offer something better than that. But let me know what you think in the comments. I've been Jake from Just Jake. Do you agree that politicians have lost the trust of British people forever? I'm Jake from Just Jake. See you next time.
Good day, sir!
You're still here? Well. This is what being right wing must taste like. If you want to subscribe to Just Jake, subscribe over there. And if you want to watch more videos from whatever the hell this is underneath it,